to the spot like Phil Collins sang it. Fresh new fade with the mustache banging. I know you want to know where the fuck I'm from.
Check it out real quick. Episode 7, got the homegirl right here, Ruth Ann Mendez. You can look her up on Facebook. She, where do you work for right now?
Right now, I'm currently employed with Street Home Magazine. Been with them for a couple of decades.
That's good. That's good. You're going to be in Salinas this weekend, right?
Yes, we are. Sunday morning, bright and shine. You always will find me at the gate. I used to, when I started off, be at the canopy where the Street Home booth is.
Okay.
But he raised his sons to take over the business, of course, and I'm at the gate.
Okay.
Due to the sheriff trying to kick people out.
And you're going to have that Keep It Family sweater on at the gate?
Yes, I am. I am. Thank you.
All right. Man, I'm glad you came, man. I really appreciate it, man. This means a lot. We touched up on some things, but we'll get to there in the middle. I want to warm up to ask, where are you from? Where were you born at?
I was born in Riverside, California.
Okay, down south?
Down south,
okay.
Yes.
And how old was you when you came up here?
When my mom got out of the hospital.
Oh, okay. So you're from here then?
Actually, I'm one of a lot of girls, 10 to be exact, and all the ones older than me were born in Phoenix, Arizona. I was born in Riverside, and the rest of my younger sisters were born in San Jose.
Okay, cool. So
I don't want to say on the way up here, but we were already in San Jose when I was born.
So San Jose native then, huh?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. So where'd you go to school at?
I went to school at Rogers, and then I went to Ocala. Throughout the 8th grade, my mother bought another place more into King and Story Road because Ocala's like White and Story, White in Ocala. And therefore, like 3 weeks before my graduation, 8th grade, I graduated from Lee Matson.
Okay. So Ocala, that's over there by King and Story, right?
It's actually on Ocala by Ocala and White.
Okay.
White Road.
So speaking of King and Story,
yes.
Because first of all, she knows my mom, so this is going to be a special little episode. So tell us a little bit about King and Story. Do you remember about
yes,
the cruising days back in the day?
King and Story was back then when my mother moved. They had a flea market in the daytime, right where Target is, I think now, and in the nighttime it would be called Disco East.
That's where 7-Eleven used to be, right?
Yes,
there, right?
7-Eleven's
still there,
back
right?
of 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven's still there.
There was a laundromat right there too, right?
No, they had an Andy's Hydraulics. Now I couldn't tell you, Mister, what exactly they have there because it's just congested.
Remember Newberry's was there around that
Remember
time.
when across the street only had a Tropicana and a couple of other stores. Now it's like a whole plaza or East Ridge.
Yeah. It still looks the same a little bit.
It's just compact. To me, it's one building that we had there, like Disco East, is now a Target, yes, but also other buildings are in the parking lot. So it's basically a plaza to me,
So when I was younger, my mom used to take us cruising out there. Well, she didn't take us cruising. We were just tagging along with her cruising.
Right.
And I remember she used to always park right there in front of the Taco Bell.
Okay, well, I was fortunate to park my car. I had a lowrider back then. I had a lowrider since I was 16. But I would park it because of the traffic. I didn't really like to cruise. I like to park my car and stand out there.
Remember that parking lot was more wide open?
It was, because it was they had Taco Bell, and then the Shakey's was across the street with the Jack in the Box. Yeah. So we were able to the whole parking lot for Disco East / the indoor flea market was all solid, nothing but lowriders.
Okay.
And the strip was coming down Santa Clara, make a right on King. I kind of wish we had El Camino like the high riders had, but no, we weren't welcome up there.
So do you ever remember back then, I would say like the late 70s and 80s, you probably were out there cruising?
Yes, I was.
Okay, do you ever remember like how the cops treated you guys?
Really bad. They accused us of being gang members. I have a few tattoos on me. As a matter of fact, one of them right here, I represent Cesar Chavez. I love what he was about. I actually worked in the fields before.
Let me see it.
Right here on my right wrist.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And so therefore, with it, I can tell a little quick story. In Los Baños, I was being picked on a lot as an adult, and they accused me of being in the gangs. And I would tell them, why are you accusing me? Because my tattoos, they would say, no, because what you have on your wrist. I said, well, let me educate you of the wings. And I would bring it up to them what politics was about and what Cesar Chavez. He was about unity. He was about getting the Mexicanos, you know. He was a union, whatever.
Right.
It's a whole different thing. Up until this day, when we throw things, we educate kids, we make the flag and tell them what the black is about, the red. We throw events like that. We still give portions, 10% of our earnings all the time to Dolores Huerta, which is his sister.
Okay.
I actually have a picture I should have brought. I marched with him, Si Se Puede, when he was coming out of, I think, Watsonville, but in Salinas is where I was at. I was a little 8-year-old girl marching with him.
I get it. So you represent it for, you know, for the positive reasons. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
All right. That's good. That's good. So how far did you get to school?
8th grade.
8th grade?
I actually left home at 8th grade. I had a friend of mine. We were two peas in a pod, and she had problems at home, so she ran away, and I didn't have to run away, but I did. My mother she would work in Sunnyvale at an electronic place and leave the windows and doors open so I could come every day and take a shower and eat. But yes, I did. But I did go and get my GED, and I have college, a couple of associates since then.
Okay.
I don't know the age, you know, but
no, that's all right. I mean,
I'm educated, well educated now.
All right.
My mom called it good enough diploma. I said, Mom, we did 4 years of high school in 6 months.
All right. So I know we were talking earlier on a few times on Facebook, and we got on the phone a couple times, and you mentioned that you had went to prison.
I did. I was tried as an adult at 17.
That was in the 80s, right?
Yes, the early 80s.
Okay, early 80s. So, and you mentioned that you met my mom in prison.
I actually met your mom a couple of times out here in the streets. A King story, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in prison first, I think. I think your mom came in early, like the middle 80s, if I can remember. It was long ago. But we cling to each other right away because we had a lot in common, I could say.
Yeah, I can see you got a little spunk in you.
What it was until this day, I'm working on it. I'm 100%, 110, 14, whatever you want to call it. What I say, my thoughts come out of my mouth, and so I'm kind of ruthless, you know. I'm trying to learn to think before it comes out because a lot of people today aren't old school like us. Back then, we would rather be with people around us that were real, even if it bothered us. We accepted it because we knew that, they're telling us because they care.
There wasn't a lot of games back then.
No, not at all. We were pure and uncut. No. We weren't filtered. That's how I'll use that word, filtered.
You weren't able to.
We didn't relate to plastic people, and everybody should know already. If you don't know what a plastic person is, somebody that smiles in your face and has a lot to say behind your back.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with that because I remember how it was. You wasn't able to brag and boast about it if you wasn't.
Never.
About it. You know what I mean?
We didn't talk about it. We were about it.
Right.
And we could.
So tell me a little bit about your interactions with my mom, like with my mom in prison.
When I met your mom, I laughed because she was just like me. People, comrades. I call them comrades. I don't like that word friends because nobody has friends. Yeah. And if they know, if they can relate. Let's just say the real people cling to us, but the fake people, the plastic, and the ones that were hating for whatever reason wanted what we had when they were pretty, but we had the solidness inside. Right. I have a sister that I want to share. I don't want to bring up her name because you won't know which sister. That she told me through my life one time. You know how they say the drunkenness comes out. I told her, why is it that if I say that guy's cute, Becky, you want to? Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
If you're listening, I mean what I say. You know this story.
Shout out, Becky.
I said, real talk. She said she was jealous of me. And I said, Becky, you have green eyes. All the guys want you. What are you jealous of? You're one of the prettiest sisters. I'm kind of the ugly duckling in the family. She says, because the way that the guys treat you. And I said, well, if you stop going to full blaze with them, you'd probably get the respect too. Yeah. I said, you don't have to, ladies out there, give it up just to have some respect from guys that are really popular. Right. You got to carry yourself. And I'm still, to this day, loyal, faithful, and I keep it real. If I don't like you, I won't, give you dirty looks. Your mom was kind of one step ahead of me. She gave everybody dirty looks. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to keep it real.
Yeah,
okay, she walked around with the mad dog face, and I consider her a teddy bear. I consider her a friend. We laughed a lot, and it was a trip because when your mom would walk in the yard, I'd have girls pulling me, telling me, "What does Birdie have beef with me?" I would tell them no. She would tell me why. Well, she mad dog me. No, that's just the way she looks.
Yeah.
I would always say that, but I told Birdie, you cracked me up because one time I told her, all these girls think you want to fight them.
Yeah.
And she goes, let them think that. I don't need them around me because, there's a bunch of fake girls anyway. Let's just say this.
That's her attitude, too.
Real tough. And the girls would be taking group pictures. I don't know if you're familiar with prison life, but you can get together in your town.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures on this link.
Right.
On the thumbnail, I got some prison pictures of her.
Oh, good. Oh, so she was in group pictures.
Well,
I want to see who she was taking them with because I
got a few of them, but there's one with, man, I should have brought it so you could check the homegirl and see who she is.
Okay.
I mean, it's her and the homegirl shaking a hand and shit.
Okay, so one person.
Yeah.
Because Birdie was walking with me when the girls said.
Yeah, she didn't like to be in the crowds.
Thank you. The girls would say, hey, or cousins, because I had cousins-in-laws in there. And they would say, come on, Flaca, because that's what, and it is in my birth certificate. So I don't want to let y'all know it was a plagiazo to me. Come on, Flaca, and I'm still Flaca. But they tell me, get in the group pictures. We're all San Jose. And I come out with, I'm not getting in a picture with those nondescripts. And it wasn't that I thought I was better than anybody because I don't judge nobody. Yeah. As a matter of fact, throughout life, I want to mention that when I fought, it was bullies because they always picked on my homegirls or something, jumping them or whatever. Your mom was just straight up. She wouldn't get in them either. We picked and choose who we were going to be seen with.
Right on.
My mother always told me, tell me who you hang with, I'll tell you what you are. And I agree with her now.
Right,
as an adult.
Yeah, we live and we learn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how was it with the girls from down south and the girls from up north? Were you guys cool?
We were. When I first hit the yard, you stay in a receiving center for 30 days, all the inmates, or I'm considering myself a convict. But I had to stay in there 90 until I turned 18 because I wasn't an adult yet. Even though I was tried as an adult, I wasn't eligible to hit the yard until I turned 18. Right. When I hit the yard, there was like 8 Southerners, and I knew they were because of the fact that they had blue paños over their outfits or their uniforms. And in prison, again, the men have to wear their prison gear. We got to wear our clothes from home. Right. So, I got our makeup there and everything. So as I hit the yard, I see 8 girls coming up to me. Now, my mentality, because of the men that I hung around with, I did hang with a lot of men growing up. Yeah. That's why I stayed alone by myself, listening to them talk. But I say all that to say this, mister. When they approached me, I thought I had to hit the first one that came up. Yeah. That was my mentality. I said, oh, not right now. I'm carrying this. Yeah. I'm thinking in my head. I never was scared of nobody, But they walked up to me and they said, are you Ruth Ann from Flaca from San Jose? I said, I am. I put my stuff down and I thought, it's time, I'm going to fight these 8 girls. Yeah. They said, okay, well, we're your primo. I have cousins down south, and we're from my dad's side, and we're your primo's all girls. I'm his road dog, Bouncy, from Orange County. And I said, I figured all of them were Sureñas. And I said, yeah. And he shot me a kite from Pelican Bay because my cousin, as I said, he was in Pelican Bay he died in there, but Bay Years in Paradise. He was in there for 38 years before he passed last year, a couple years ago. Okay. But she approached me and they gave me canteen, which is, food and stuff, a blow dryer, a radio. You could only have 2 appliances, but I had it all. Yeah. And I thought, okay, I dropped my guard, and I came to realize that we stick together, the Hispanics.
Yeah, I remember asking my mom about that when I was a kid, and she was like, Mister, it's not like that.
No,
we're not
at all. We're never. Sad to say, I know the politics. I'm familiar with the men's side. They go through a lot. You can.
But she said, don't get me wrong. She goes, there's a lot of fights, but it's a personal thing.
It always is a personal or a drug deal if you deal with drugs and you don't pay up. Yeah. Actually, we kind of hooked up. When riots occurred, it was us and the Caucasians would hook up with us to get the the dark side,
The black side,
African
yeah.
American. Yeah.
I mean, it is
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, that's what happened
That's
in there.
what
Like
it was.
You didn't make the rules. You were just there,
And it was because most of them, and I don't want to say be racist or anything, would start the fights. See, we were more programmed in our mentality, like I stated to you, me and your mom. I could throw your mom in all the time when I say me.
She told me that too.
That we didn't
them. Yeah.
start stuff and to get loud with anybody in front of the correctional officers.
Yeah.
Our thing is, if we had beef, we took it where we wouldn't get caught.
Yeah.
They mostly would try to yell things out to us in the kitchens, knowing that the correctional officers would stop it before anything kicked off.
I think that's real as fuck, man, because she used to say the same thing, man.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
So I became prejudiced, not toward the race, but toward the ignorant people.
Yeah, the way they were at the time.
Yes. Then there's a lot of homegirls like that, too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just, like I said, throw out there that it was a certain race.
Do you remember, since you were in there with my mom, do you remember a girl named Dora Martinez?
I do.
Droopy?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Rest in peace, Dora, man.
Yes.
I got real close with her through my mom.
Did you?
Throughout the years, my mom and her didn't talk no more, but I was still, I still have some childhood memories
Well,
with her.
mister, I could say that I wouldn't have got close to you because you were travieso.
Oh, when I was a kid?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
you
So
were.
tell me about myself.
I just got to say this. I knew that you were going to be just like your mom or even harder.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that. And I told him, you guys spanked that kid. And your mom you guys were her life.
Oh, yeah. She
I
loved
know
us.
there was, I'm familiar, I think there was 3 or 4 of you guys.
It's 3 of us.
I know that she had one girl.
Yeah.
Right?
Mommies. Yeah.
Right. And what's your age?
Mommy, she just turned 45 yesterday.
Okay, I
Oh,
knew
no,
she had
Sunday.
My oldest is 41 and 42.
Yeah, Mommy's just turned 45 Sunday.
Is she the oldest?
No, she's the youngest.
You were the oldest.
Me and her are the same age right now.
Okay, 10 months
So I
apart.
turned 46 in
We
May.
had in common too. We have
Yeah.
kids 10 months apart.
Yeah. I think they call that something.
Twins?
No, Siamese twins or
Well, I have 2 boys in 1 year.
not Siamese twins. They call it some shit, some kind of.
My sons are born in 93, both of them.
Okay.
But the older one's born in 82.
So, after prison, you and my mom still stayed connected a little bit.
We
You said you
did.
went to one of our houses in our neighborhood.
I did. I went there weekly until it
What
was a
neighborhood was
revolving
that?
door prison. I can't say. I got out after doing a 5-year stretch, so I remember at the time, and because we would miss each other.
Yeah.
I don't think your mom went back, maybe
What-
once or twice.
What?
A violation, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just she
I know
was,
she
she
did
was
one
in and
term.
out. I mean, I remember visiting her at Elmwood where the peacocks were out
Right.
there and shit back in the day.
And then you said you said she hit Chowchilla.
Yeah, she went to Chowchilla.
She went from
CIW and
CIW.
Chowchilla. Yeah.
She went from there because I knew when she got on the bus. I walked her there.
So that's the 80s. Her last time in prison.
Right.
I got her last picture from prison was in 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's written on a Polaroid.
And then she stopped.
Yeah, she didn't
She
get that.
stopped way
Yeah.
before me. I discharged, as a matter of fact, from parole in 98.
No shit. Well, hey, let's get back to what neighborhood did you go visit like my mom when you got out?
You were close to Vickystown.
Okay, right on the. Okay, so you went
You
to the
were in
south
the hill.
side. Yeah, okay.
I'm from the east side all the way, but
Yeah.
I hung out there.
Yeah, it looked like the hills because of Snow Drive.
Right.
Yeah, the big hill. Yeah.
I don't know what street it was. I just knew it was in the hill, and I knew it was
Yeah.
Vickystown
Yeah, there was a park
at
right
the
there.
time.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what it is now. I heard they kind of.
So since that's already passed, and this is
Right.
she already been charged for this stuff. Would you would you care to elaborate a little bit about what you guys? What's your dealings
I
were?
don't know what I think your mom was in there for sales, right?
No, but what you guys were doing?
What we were doing. Oh, when I came over.
Yeah.
Well, being your adult, I could talk about it, but I would have kept it quiet back then. I actually would drop her off ounces of PCP.
Okay.
Okay. That was the thing. And I started off like she was selling that. She made the money. I did it because to drop off larger was lesser money made. If you break it down the way she did, she'd make the bank because it cost back then 1 penny to buy a $20 joint.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, like most of my memories with my mom has to do with PCP.
Well-
Not just her being high, it's all the drama that came along with it.
I told her, and I schooled her later. And when I say schooled her, I gave her why I stopped doing the joints. First and foremost, she's a mother and a father, right? Back then, a mother and father. I've been married 33 years, and I was a mother and father.
Yeah.
But my other half stayed in prison. He was married to the prison.
Man, we witnessed a guy back at that house you say you went over there by
Right.
Vickystown. That's Snow Drive. We witnessed a guy come in our house and try to stab my mom. And Dora Droopy tried to get involved, and he knocked her out, grabbed us as kids and threw us in the room, closed the door. And we had to put like our little sister out the window, and she went and got the homies that was chilling at the park, Vickystown.
Right.
And they came and chased dude out of there. Dude was in a mini truck, and I guess she was.
Did you get the story later why he did that?
I don't know, but he was trying to get her stuff, and
I was there. It was probably a robbery.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely was trying because she was holding it, and yeah.
They're trying to take the bread out of your mouth. You
a lot
know
of that shit. So what I'm saying is like there's a lot of incidents that went on with that shit.
I'll tell you that people would tell me when I sold the little ones. Then I told her the stories why I got out of doing that. You got to be really careful because first and foremost, when you're back there and you're slinging drugs, I would call it, you don't take them to your house because of the fact that if you have family there and you're a mother and father, she had to, like I did, because you try to do both, right? And you set boundaries and rules, but once they smoke PCP, I've had people walk up with a half a joint of just the parsley, nothing in it, and then they would say, come back a minute later and say, look at it. It's not. That's how scandalous it was. Like, I'm not loaded. You see me loaded? First, you should have been coming to my house and not calling. Yeah. Then you shouldn't have smoked it in my vicinity, right? Because the stuff was potent. It was, I want to tell you, I loved it. I take one toke, and I was more head-minded because I was hiding it. They would not drop me off weight if I was using it.
I'll tell you a story. You're familiar with Colmar Apartments, right?
Yes, I am.
Off Capitol?
Yes.
So in the early 80s, we lived there with my mom, right? We had an apartment there upstairs. And right upstairs, we could look out our window and see the Quick Stop downstairs, the little liquor store.
Yeah.
My mom was selling that shit, the joints, to the manager of the apartments. He ended up getting so fucked up. And I remember my mom sent my older brother downstairs to get some milk. And he was walking across the parking lot, and we're watching him as he goes because he was so little. We're little, so we're watching him. And he was like, Mom, look at this guy. And he looked up, and the dude was like freaking out. He had his shirt off. Yeah. And he ended up sticking his finger in his eye and pulled his whole eye out.
I believe you.
And he was like, Mom, he just pulled his eye out. And I remember this like it was just yesterday.
You probably saw on TV some of the homeboys I've seen butt naked riding a bike down Santa
we've
Street.
seen all that, man. I seen my mom and all kinds of shit with the house. And my, my Uncle Steve, my gay Uncle Steve, rest in peace.
Right.
He walked in on her, and she was doing her thing, whatever, and he ended up like freaking out because we were there and ended up attacking her boyfriend. He was gay, but he was a tough gay guy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. He's a man.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, I've sold to a person that drowned in a sauna. And when I say drowned, he was like a bodybuilder, and he went in there. Who drowns 3 feet of water? Somebody that's stuck on the stupid. Now, you got to remember, I wrote a story on PCP. Yeah. Back then, it was the animal tranquilizer. They put elephants
elephant tranquilizer, yeah.
Well, we got ingredients. I wasn't a chemist now, but we had to get straight guys to buy the rocket fluid from Moffett Field. That was one of the ingredients.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, Moffett Field. So once they busted that, it turned into like a blue rock because they didn't have the ingredients. And you always know. I don't think they could ever go back to the old days of White Rock because of the fact that that's what it was called. And it was pure. It costed a penny to make a joint that we sold for up to $30.
Yeah.
So imagine the profit. Again, I sold to a guy that smoked it in his brother-in-law's apartment, which with his sister. They were coming home with the newborn baby. The sister put the baby down. The brother-in-law noticed that he was loaded. And back then, you disrespected his apartment. You're staying there, and you smoked a leño there, and they're straight, right? They ended up getting into a physical altercation and stepped on the baby somehow, and the baby passed away.
See, there was so much bad shit that happened. Would you agree that PCP ruined a lot of lives?
It did. I won't mention his name, but he was on his way to professional boxing. I introduced him to PCP because I knew he had money.
Right.
His trainer didn't like me at all when I came around. He thought I was dating him. He said he can't date during their working. What do you call that when you getting prepared for a match?
When you're
training.
Yeah.
But I was just dropping out leños. That guy ended up in prison and lost his whole future.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, don't you feel bad? No, he would have got it from someone else.
I mean, if he was looking for it, that's his, yeah.
And that's how my mentality, even when the baby died, I had no remorse over nothing. Your mom was like me. We walk over dead bodies that we see at like West Side Bill or, oh, well, they should have flipped us off.
Yeah.
And today, that's not our mentality at all.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
I feel, I cry.
Yeah.
I get hurt when you're hurt. And I see bloody nose, man, I'm running to your rescue.
Yeah, when you're that young, you're kind of like, you're naive to a lot of things. And back then, all you want to do is feed your ego or your pride.
Exactly.
And look like you're tough and,
it's
stuff
not,
like that.
I see that in this generation now, mister, I want to say. Back then, it's not that we were really showing off. We had no morals, no... we were taught with respect. It's not like the generation today that we see an enemy at a flea market or a fair. We didn't approach them. There was a time and place for everything.
That's a good point. Because before I forget, I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, it's okay.
You're right, because back then you had to be that way because that's how serious it was.
It was.
It was real serious.
It was.
As a kid, I seen how serious it was.
We took ass whippings.
The girls my mom used to be around talked as serious as guys. Like, they were about business.
We looked the person in the eye, and we feared nothing.
Yeah.
Until this day, I fear God, and that's all I fear.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Same here.
People ask me at 17 going down to prison, oh, you're so young. Are you scared? No, I wasn't. I wasn't scared when the Sureñas walked up to me, and I was about to get jumped in my mentality.
Right.
So I say all that to say, we feared nothing, but we also had long respect, so we demanded it. And when I say demanded it, I see today... just recently, I have a friend in right now. She wasn't critical. She's unstable. I've been in the hospital with her. Shoot a candle visual, okay? We didn't do that stuff. Like I stated earlier.
Wait, what happened with that?
On King and White, on Shorty and White, there was a visual. A youngster named Chucky, I don't know the whole story, but he thought he was purchasing or given Percocet painkillers. He didn't do drugs, and it ended up being fentanyl. That, my sister just passed from that. They're feeding these drugs, and I want to tell the heads out there that marijuana is getting sprayed with fentanyl today.
So they were having a vigil for that guy?
They were having a vigil for Chucky. Earlier in the day, there was an altercation with somebody that wasn't welcome there, and he showed up. I'm not sure, and I wasn't there, but a friend of mine called me. We had something set up to visit another boy of our homeboys from back in the days. He had a stroke, Joker, and we were going to go see him. So I'm really prompt, like I was telling you earlier.
Right. Yeah, you are.
She was supposed to be here to pick me up on Monday at 12. Okay, I didn't hear nothing. I heard a guy got shot there named Sharky. They called me up and
I know what you're
Sharky.
talking about. No, I know that guy.
Right?
Man. Yeah, I got a picture with him like 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they called me, they said,
rest in peace to homie Sharky, man.
Yeah, Joe Duran. But I say all that to say, when I got the call Sunday night after this occurred, I got the call saying, it was one of my cousins saying, hey, you're Sharky, because I call him my Sharky. Yeah. And he's from Palmas, the 5th generation. He's a youngster, but he always comes by when he's in the neighborhood and asks me, do I need anything? Bread, butter, whatever. I'm single at my house. He was a friend of my husband at the time. But I don't know what happened to them, but he would stop by. And out of respect, he always looked up. And so they thought it was him. The other Sharky he's from Palmas, I could say, but he had a P right here. So I go, he's not dead. I just talked to him this morning. And then she said, no, really? And she goes,
I don't think he's from Palmas, but we're not going to disclose any of that.
Okay, whatever. Yeah. He has a P here.
Yeah. Something else.
I'm assuming. Yeah. But I saw that, no, not the guy that got killed.
Oh,
he's from Parkville.
Oh, okay, okay.
So Palmas is the one, is my Sharky.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the one that actually got shot in the head.
Oh, you were confused of who it was.
No, they called me and told me it was mine. So right away I said no. So I go, shoot me a picture. And they shot me a picture, and there's something on the guy that made us in paradise. He has right here. I assumed it was a tattoo, but I couldn't see it. I didn't have my glasses. No. And so I thought, well, it could be him. So I called him, and he answered. He said no, and he confirmed that it was his partner, his homeboy too.
Okay.
Okay, they weren't from the same audio, but they actually he knew that they were friends.
Right.
So I said, oh, God, not that I didn't think, because I said, what happened? So then they started calling me that my friend Monique on Monday, that she got a bullet too.
She was there?
She was there lighting the candle. She only went, lit the candle, and was ready to leave. I know the story now because I spoke to her. Monday, I'm waiting outside my apartment at 12 o'clock sharp. I'm talking to somebody, so I look at the clock because I'm wondering, she's not here yet.
Yeah.
It was already 1. I actually stayed out there 1 more hour thinking she's coming from Hollister, that she's just running late. I kept calling her, but it went straight to the voicemail. She knows how I am about answering phones while you're driving. So my people won't answer my calls while they're driving, because I'll say, are you driving? What the hell you answer my phone call for, right? Mm-hmm. So I say all that to say she didn't show up. So it made sense, and I verified it, and she happened to get a bullet too. They told me she was in critical condition, and I waited because when I was told where she was at when I went. I argued with the people there because they wouldn't tell me her room number. They told me that she wasn't there. Now, again, people, when you're under investigation for shootings or stabbing, it didn't dawn on me at the time. I just wanted to see her.
Yeah.
And they stated that she wasn't there. I said, yes, I know she's here. I got a call from her daughter.
Right.
And, well, then I'm telling you, she's not on the screen because it's under investigation. No information is to be given out. They won't. They'll say she's not there. They probably don't have her on the screen. Well, the next morning she called me, and she came out of surgery and stable. I asked for prayers on Facebook. Everybody prayed, and there's power in prayer, mister, I want to mention.
Yeah,
there's power. God is good.
Yeah.
And they prayed for her, and she went from critical that night to, at that point, I didn't know where she was shot at, what was happening. I knew that the guy next to her got the bullet in his head and died on impact. There was a third person that got glazed. She drove herself to the hospital and came out, the third person. But Monique, like I said, we're praying for you still. She's still in the hospital. She had a setback yesterday. She called me and said she knew I was coming in the afternoon. I got called in the morning. She was back in ICU.
So do you think because of all that happened, a lot of parents are going to keep their family from going to vigils now because of this?
I think so. It's happening already. I myself.
This seems like a
if they're that brave,
family dispute and something got out of control. So you know anything could happen in any place.
Exactly.
You know?
The incident that they're assuming happened, the retaliation, was from earlier. And then again, don't let me speak. I don't know. I don't listen. I have tattooed here. I believe nothing what I hear and half of what I see.
Right.
So I don't know this, but it could be anything. They think it's a rival gang too. We don't know.
Okay.
Only God knows, and whoever's. They did interview a lot of people. I'm hoping, and I hate to say it out loud, that individual gets caught before there's a war out there.
I know one thing for sure. SJPD don't play.
Right.
Anybody thinks to get away with shit like that, they don't.
Everything comes out in the wash.
Yeah.
Everything.
There's too many people, and
and then that guy is very. I know his relatives, and it was a small world. His aunt came and met me last night, and she was crying about Monique, and I introduced her, and she was there. Thank you, Nadine. She's with our lowrider scene that I'm in now.
Yeah.
And she has her business. You know, we all kind of grew up, and I understand. I didn't back then either. I want to tell you, mister, that me and some of your Southside homegirls, Maria Perez, the one you've seen in the picture with your mom, and a few of us did some fundraisers, and we took, when they first started out, the Vacancies Down, Lomas, all that, we took 2 members of every clique or barrio or hood or whatever. Now I couldn't tell you where it's what, but we took them, chartered them to San Juan Bautista, to the mission. And we had a retreat, and we spoke, and I kind of went up there, and I'm blunt. I said, how do you let these guys that come up from down south and separate you guys as childhood friends? And then Maria spoke. We had Edward James almost, Noel G, positive people that's been there, done that, or have brothers or family. And we thought we really talked some sense into them. Well, some of the homies came back, and the presidents, if they were from LA, right, funked with them. They formed Southside Hong Kong, Little Town, all these other ones after that. Until this day, they found,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But I said that, like, I want to bring up Maria. Maria is a legend. She's involved in a lot of things today. She's down in Texas. Her brother's a pastor, Roscoe. He was in Vicky Sound, and then he formed Southside Ganga, and they ended up feuding with the guys from LA, from Vicky Sound back then. Maria got stabbed at a young age. I was at the party, and she straightened up, and she became a drug counselor, and she was into Victory Outreach. A lot of the homeboys back then, too, turned into pastors.
Yeah, you
today.
mentioned something about Minimo, is it?
Minimo was from the Vicky from Horseshoe,
That's Horse's sister, right?
Horse's sister.
Yeah.
I loved her. She was my Sally. She was a lot.
She was in prison with my mom, too,
She
right?
was. And she was at our level. When I say our level, she was funny. She looked at hardcore because of all the tattoos she had on her face and stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, I told her I could talk about her. I told her, Minnie, God gave, stop borrowing my shampoo. Stop getting those tattoos on your face. I told her one day. But she made me laugh. Back in the days, I speak now a lot. I give myself a headache. Especially your mom was worse than me. I wouldn't say we were shy. We just didn't have no conversation for nobody.
Right,
We were very observant. People wondered what we were about because we didn't speak.
Yeah. Didn't have time for none of that little small-time conversations.
Nothing. We didn't like fake people. We didn't want to hear. We were drama-free, sucker-free, gossip.
That's right.
Don't bring it our way.
Sucker-free.
Until this day, we're sucker-free, drama-free. Your mom, Minnie Mo passed away, unfortunately, but God gave, I hadn't seen her in years. She made her family. She served the Lord in Sacramento. And it was funny because I want to share this. She was excited for me to meet her husband. And when he came out of the room, I was thinking the hardcore homeboy because that's what she was used to.
Yeah.
He came out of the room with a purple fluorescent shirt and some yellow pants. I can never forget that. And didn't know English. And I looked at her, and when she introduced us, I started busting up, laughing.
Oh, shit.
So she's she. And he's looking at both of us like, what are you laughing at me for?
Yeah.
And I said...
So what, did he, he's from Mexico or something?
He was from Mexico. He didn't know English.
Damn.
And I said, when he went back in the room, because we were laughing so hard, because Minnie made me laugh, she was the only one that could crack a smile on my face. And your mom, too. We were, funny comedians. We had a lot to laugh about. So I like to say, I said, you better start dressing him, fool. And, and you better teach him English because...
Yeah, you sound like my mom back in the day.
Because for reals...
And you know why I'm laughing right now? Shit, because my mom, towards the end of her life, her last 15, 20 years, she was seeing those kind of guys, too.
Because I asked her, what's up with that?
I think they try to trick him or something, but they end up being
She said, I was tired of the homeboys, man. I'm one step ahead of them. Yeah. And it's true.
Because they had jobs.
They worked.
They had jobs.
They were hard workers.
Yeah. So,
hard workers.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I think with her, probably like your mom, they supported the family. Yeah. She was going to bring somebody that could be an asset.
She used to bring him over to my first apartment.
It was probably using him in the beginning and then fell in love with him.
She used to tell the guy, hey, man, go buy my son some groceries and stuff like that. And he would go to the store and do it.
So would Minnie Mo's
wife. He'd buy the beer. He'd do everything.
Well, later in the years now, I have my kids. I moved down from Washington State and we're in Los Baños. And she gets a hold of me through Facebook. I have a homegirl named Lisa Cuevas that used to throw family/friends. Lisa's still alive. And there were reunions. And when I say reunions, you know how you have family reunions?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. My family
don't
do that.
One. Yeah. She threw one, and it was at Cunningham Park.
So I'm going to do one soon.
She did one. And that was the thing for the homies of our ages to come wherever you were at. Because a lot of people grew up. A lot of people didn't go to prison.
Remember Allen Park used to have a lot of barbecues like that back in the day.
Right.
All the homies
she threw a special one for all of us, our crowd, right? Our people. Because in San Jose wasn't that big. We all knew each other. I was from the east side, but I knew people.
Remember on King Road, the fields, how morning, where Pink Elephant's at?
Yes.
A lot of the houses were separated by fields.
And I could say I could walk to the south side. I point to the south side because that's where I knew you guys to be from. Yeah. And my friend Yolanda that I ran away with, she was from back of Andrew Hill. Yeah. So I could walk. We could walk. We didn't have to take buses, Yeah. So I don't want to think that the San Jose shrunk or got bigger. They got congested.
Yeah.
A home that I was in.
No, you're right. Because from the south side on Snow Drive, me and my childhood friends used to ride the bike all the way to the east side to Chuck E. Cheese.
Like it was nothing.
Just like that, like the store.
Yes. And today I've driven from White and Story to get to the south side, and it takes me as long as it takes me to go to Los Baños.
Long time now.
An hour.
You're telling me.
An
Just to go
hour.
to the east side, just to go get some carne asada, because that's where I go get my shit
Right.
at. I'm like, that's like going to another town.
Right.
Just because of congestion. You know?
Yeah. When I came back into the state, again, I was gone for 8 years. And I came back. I didn't want, my kids were born and raised, the small ones were raised in Washington State. So when I came back because my sister bought 3 houses in Los Baños and offered me one just so I could move back here. And my kids wanted to, so I did everything. Like your mom, you guys were our worlds. And if your mom, I want to tell the kids out there, if your mom is stealing or whatever, she's not doing it for herself. She's doing it to support you.
Yeah.
And it sounds corny. I know they
No,
say
it's
jobs.
not, because
I had a job since I was 13, mister, I say, and I was still a connection.
Yeah. Like, my mom was like, when I look at it, like, you guys were victims of circumstances. Like, you guys had good intentions, but you got swallowed up by it. You know, you got consumed by it.
We made bad choices
You know what I
because in the long run, it caused us to be incarcerated. And when you're a single parent, where are your kids going to go?
Yeah.
You know? I was fortunate to have a good man. My first love from Alviso, they had money.
Are you married now?
I'm married now. I've been married 34 years, but we're separated.
Oh, okay.
He hasn't grown up yet.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, the kids don't talk to him. They're adults. And he just recently fell out, was in a coma due to street drugs. He's sick, and he shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
About 4 months ago, and they started talking
You pray for him, right?
all the time.
Okay.
God gave him a second chance.
Right.
I'm upset with them because he went back to that old ways.
Yeah.
And how could you play with God like that?
That's how I try to tell people now. Like, it's back in the day, I'd be like, well, fuck them or whatever. And now I'd be like, the best thing to do is, hey, you know what? Like, just pray for them.
That's all you can do.
Just try to find right now I offer the compassionate route, before anything now, before the negative side, because I have this bad side and I have this good side. And, like, as you get older, you learn to let the good side control the bad side.
Never, whatever, if he went out, I've never been outside my marriage. He has, but I never thought of divorcing at all until recently when this happened. Because if you want a beer in your hand, you want to smoke weed after God brought you out of death,
right?
I don't want to be a part of it.
Amen. So, in San Jose, through all your time and going through all the stuff, do you ever get caught up in any like big, like arrests?
I was actually on TV, and they'd show that clipping every time they threw a drug bust. I was at my mom's house, and I again left home when I was 13. I spent the night there because we had carnivals. Remember on King's Story?
Oh yeah.
And my little sister wanted me to take her because my mom wouldn't let my little sister go anywhere. May she rest in peace. And so I came to take her to the carnival, and it was late. My mom said, just spend the night. So I spent the night on the couch. And it happened that, in fact, they didn't want me. They wanted Broncos, my first co-defendant. But they came with the thing in the door, and they had my picture in their hand. My sister, JoJo, actually came out of the room and shot the cops with that bow and arrow she had.
Shit.
Because they didn't have their gear on.
Right.
To me, she fought it and said they didn't announce themselves.
Remember back in the days they come with the fucking flower shirts and shit to try to blend in like they're in Hawaii?
Exactly. And my aunt was visiting from Texas, and she had a heart attack. But all along I was in the couch, didn't wake up for nothing. And then when I heard it, I put the blanket. They were going throughout the rooms, and it was. I didn't take drugs to my mom's house, but that day I just coughed. So I had like a half pound of PCP under the pillow I was sleeping in.
Oh, shit.
And they didn't get it because they saw my face at the picture. They took me in. But that clipping, they would show it. And in fact, that day, they put me in a paddy wag with some those little plastic things, whatever you call them, the zip ties.
Yeah.
And they took us to a school building outside. I don't know if you, like the school in the east side had those like trailers sometimes outside.
Yeah, like a little subunit and stuff. Yeah.
They took us there. They didn't take us straight to jail. But that I read the next day 50 of us were arrested.
So it was an indictment?
It was we all sold to the same narc.
Oh,
it was an 8-month investigation.
Oh, damn. So he was wrapping up
he actually was a homeboy.
Was he?
And he went off, we thought, to the Marines. And I won't mention his name because his sister, I still like her.
No, tell his name. No.
Okay, Torres. It was Gilbert Torres and Ernesto Alcantar.
Yeah,
Gilbert Torres was from the east side.
He put himself on blast. He deserves to be.
He has his sister, Nana Torres, Pebbles.
I remember Pebbles.
Okay, Pebbles introduced me to him, but I didn't sell to him then. I sold to him and Gilbert when they came back from the Marines. It was narc school or whatever.
Yeah.
He was undercover, and he waited and got a lot of us, and so we sold to them. Because one or another would say, that's my primo. So we didn't trust nobody. Again, mister, but because he was a homeboy when he left, he went to the Marines, we thought, and came back and knew a lot of people.
So he's one of those ones like in that movie Blood In, Blood Out, sold out his own people. When he could have just told you guys, like, hey, man, like they're watching you, back off, we'll get a
He didn't. He actually, with his partner, there was a Chicano too, supposed to be from Salinas, and we sold. All of us sat in the paddy wagon looking at each other like, I know who I sold to. This is bullshit, BS. And we all found his name in our paperwork, and we then knew that we sold to an narc.
So did you learn your lesson then, or did you get involved in more stuff?
I will tell you something, mister. From the time I went to prison till I again turned myself in 94 from running 8 years, I was a revolving door for me. I never stood out more than 90 days.
So did you ever get involved with the homies out here and their troubles?
I actually did.
Want to elaborate a little bit?
Yes. There was an indictment back in the early 90s called the Black Widow. Okay? 21 canales, I called them bros.
And you was involved in it?
Yes. They came at me, the district attorney, and said that I would be indicted as an associate. I wasn't worried about it because how are you going to prove I'm associated to you, mister? If somebody comes, I don't know what you're about. You can't share with me. But sad for me is out of 21 indicted, 18 of them implicated me. We all know what debriefing is. And that's basically, correct me if I'm wrong, to debrief, you're telling everything you've done in the life. Not everybody. They're not asking you about
Tell
anybody.
Them who gave you your nickname, who put your first tattoo on you.
Okay, that's debriefing. Did they ask you, and who else? Or no, I'm a female. Again, you bringing back the prison. We don't play that. We don't play South and North. We don't play politics. So therefore, why would, if I did you as a homegirl, sister, you called me all the time. That's my little sister, which, no, I don't have no brothers. They told on me the favors that I would do for them. Like send saw blades in there and the fourth floor, like pick up money for them, like visits that I went. Back then you couldn't talk to each other, I guess, and you guys were next door to each other in cells. I say you guys because the men. I would take 4 girls that knew nothing about them, all excited because they're in jail, right, to visit. And I'd say, hey, why don't you talk to my husband real quick while I tell the homeboy something? I want to say hi. But I would relay messages back and forth to each one of them. And I think, in my own mentality, why aren't they sending each other kites in jail? And I still don't know why. No, I'm playing dumb.
Well, it's good. I'm glad you made it out of that, man. You know, and you learned a lot out of it.
That's what I stopped.
But now I got you here because, you're older and you was in the lowriding scene back then.
Yes.
I always tell people about Shakey's Pizza. Do you remember how it was like a little party in there?
Always.
Remember my grandma used to go there because my grandma had a ranch right across street from Pink Elephant.
Okay.
So my grandma, lived all over the east side right there. But she used to walk from the ranch to Shakey's Pizza. And I remember it was just a big party there.
Always.
All the yellow balloons and
as we started having kids, that was the place to have our kids. It was a Chuck E. Cheese.
Man, that was better than Chuck E. Cheese. Like for you guys, for the drinkers, everybody that was chilling.
The adults always.
On the way home, and from Shakey's Pizza, it's not that far to Pink Elephant, right? So on the way home, my grandma would be pissing in the bushes. And just going behind a wall. And I remember that shit, man.
No, today you do that, you get arrested for indecent exposure.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
And you have to sign up in Megan's Law or something like that. But I say all that to say, when that happened with me, I stopped really trusting the ones that I thought were solid.
Right.
Because these guys were supposed to be. And I'm a female, and unfortunately I had to leave when I decided I was going to
But
stop.
some of them were solid though, right?
The 3 that stood strong,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Until this day, I know I'm in contact with them, and
Shout out
I'm
to
still
them.
there for them. But I say all that to say, when they did that, a lot of girls told and could probably, because when a police officer, and I don't blame them, I guess I wouldn't have never. I took a beat for a lot of people, and I don't say take a beat. They didn't want me, but because I wouldn't speak on them, they were going to make an example out of me.
Yeah.
But I knew what I was doing, mister. I knew that I stepped in your car, you had a gun, even if you didn't tell me. But do I expect you, because I'm driving and it's my car, you to throw it under my seat?
Yeah.
That's happened to me too. And
I
when
had that
they
happen before
pull
too.
you over, nobody's copying to nothing.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna squeeze this. I remember one time I had some dudes in the back seat, and we're in Morgan Hill, and this punk man, and I ain't gonna say his name, but he knows who he is. I was getting pulled over,
Right.
and I had put some brand new rims in my car, and I got pulled over. It's probably like 99 and or 2000. And this fucking guy started digging in under my seat, and I knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? This dude was smoking dope, and he was trying to bury his shit in my... And I reached out and says, hey, look, motherfucker. Before the cop even got out the car, I said, look, motherfucker, you better get that shit out the back seat right now. And because I did that, like, he tried to go and, you know, like, give me a bad name for forcing him to do that. What you mean? Like,
Today, that's
nothing
what
even
they
happened
do.
to him, right? They didn't take my passengers out. Nobody got arrested.
Right.
But he tried to, like, you know, deflect. You know how
Right.
people want to try to put their
know.
guilt on you. I'm like, motherfucker, if I didn't say nothing, you'd have put that and I would have got busted, then what?
Where I came
You know what I'm
from,
saying?
mister, we wrote our own beats.
Yeah.
I one time was in a raid in the South Side on Center Road.
Okay.
The Rios brothers were there. They were looking for one of them. I got out of prison that day. I picked up a big, large amount of clavo I had on me. I was sitting down on the couch, and a pro agent said,
Claude, what do you mean? Like,
a big
crank?
no, I've always dealt with PCP.
Oh, okay. I thought you moved down to the crank after PCP.
No,
I'm like,
when
damn.
I went on the run, I took a half a pound of crank with me.
Damn.
But they didn't sell it.
So you made it to the crank days?
Well, when the crank happened, I knew that was flowing here. When I took it to Washington State, nobody touched it. So I flew up a homeboy. Hey, shout out to Boo. I flew him up on a Friday because he didn't want to get caught out of state. And I flew him a round trip ticket from Friday to a Sunday. He went up there and he put it all on my garage. I had the kids away for the weekend, and he put it all on a screen, and then he threw acetone on it. And I assumed it turned into the meth that they're smoking now because it looked glassy.
You mean the crystal, whatever?
The crystal meth.
I don't know the process, but I heard stuff about that.
When they did that. So crank is actually meth, but brown.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Pure or whatever.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when I flew him up and he did that, it went like water.
Yeah. Okay, well, Ruth, man, we got to be cutting it short right now. Is there anything like positive you want to give out? Because it's obviously you went through a lot of shit, and I think this is gonna be one of my best episodes, man, because it really talking to you really brings back the old memories and stuff like that. And only people that actually have knowledge of these things could say the thing, like, because you have to have knowledge of it, you know.
Exactly,
and
you have to have lived it.
Yeah, exactly. So for the things you say, and I know it's genuine and it's real because you actually had to be there. And
I do.
Hearing your voice, I haven't heard those kind of slang, those words, those. You know, there's certain things I used to hear when my mom was, you know, doing
Your
her thing
mom,
when I was a kid.
I want to say, Mr. Cutting, I miss her a lot.
I appreciate that.
I've been through a lot of funerals. I've lost a lot of people, but your mom was, they broke the mold with her. And I don't tear up because I wish I would have been able to been there with her when
you guys got older and you guys,
I wasn't
running your own
watching.
everybody's running their own lives and stuff. And that's why I tell people.
I wanted to get back to Minnie. Minnie was in Sacramento. And we came to the reunion. I broke bread with her. She met my kids. I met hers. And 2 days later, I got a call from her husband that knew English. Now, this is when I walk up to the park with my adult kids and my grandkids.
Right.
I took them all to this reunion. It was a blast.
So that's why it's important. My logo, man. Show your sweater.
Yes, I will.
Show it to that camera right there. See
It's
this?
my sweater. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's your sweater.
Okay.
That's why it's important. Show the back of it.
The back of it, well, the front says
family.
And in the back, it says, keep it family.
See, that's why it's important, man. See, that's why this logo is really important to me because you could skip on things and miss things because of...
What I love about this saying, not to interrupt, is the fact that blood people doesn't make you family.
No,
Loyalty does.
that's right.
Faithfulness, trust. Be about it. Be about your word. If you can't show up, you can't do favors, tell the person. If they can't accept it, oh well.
Right.
You're being honest with them. I'd rather have that done. I don't get my feelings hurt or a person. We want honesty. You lie to cops, pro agents, and judges if need be.
Hey.
Never to your people. Okay? If you don't want them to know something because you know that they have a slip of the tongue, do like I do. What are you doing, Mr. Writing a book? Mr. For real.
Be
You're on
straight
the
up.
need to know basis.
Be straight up, right?
Real talk.
Be straight up.
I wish a lot of people were like me and his mother because we're old school and we would never take from you. We despise the thieves and liars. And the thieves, we're not talking, hey, I will support your business on Christmas time. I have 13 granddaughters and 4 grandsons, half price. They have insurance. I was a district manager at a store. We have insurance. Don't thieve from each other.
Right.
Ask us. We'll give it to you. That's all I ever ask. And this generation, I have to throw out there, stop being puppets for other people. When a person comes up to you and wants you to do something, tell them to do it first.
That's right.
Do
Hey,
their own
shout out to Street Low, man. You guys see her at Street Low, show her
Yes,
some
I'll be at
love.
the
This is
gate.
Ruth
Come and say
Ann.
hello, please.
I mean,
Sunday, we started.
that's it, man.
Sardines.
Peace. We're out.